I think, I don't know, styling is logistics, really. And I think anything, actually, if you're focused and organised, really boils down to logistics, actually, and getting shit done.
Yeah, it does.
You know, like, if you can't get your things in line and things in place and stay strict to timings, then nothing's going to get done. And it doesn't really matter what your trade is, you know?
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
THTC, the UK's leading ethical streetwear label. Organically grown and ethically built garments from hemp, organic cotton and other sustainable materials. 2019 is their 20th anniversary year. Join me with THTC as a Killa Kela podcast sponsor celebrating music, social activism, hemp and street culture. THTC, eco-fashion redefined since 1999. Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Hold tight to our sponsors, Graffiti Kings. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Killa Kela podcast. Do not sleep, I repeat, do not sleep on my repeat for all things new music and street culture. And what better way than kick off a Tuesday than like this? My friend is in the house. Alexis Knox, stylist, columnist for both TV and tabloid, DJ. I said stylist, right? Look at the styling going on there, girl.
I'm a busy bee, me. If they're paying, I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
How you doing, darling?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Fire.
Look at this. Cup of coffee, biscuits, Elmo.
In the house. You know what? We aim to please in these places like these, you know. Central London, or central as you need to be, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we are keeping it very much thorough. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and all that Billy business. Okay. How are you?
Good. I am pleased to be sat down. It's been a busy day running around.
Yeah.
One of my clients, the lovely Craig David, is going on tour very soon.
Ah, right.
Yes. So there's been lots of shopping and prepping clothes for him and his band.
Oh, shit.
So
the whole band?
Yeah, the band, him, his flights. It's a lot of outfits.
Damn.
Yeah.
So is that like... Okay, we're going to get into this. We're definitely going to get into this because this is essentially like your run-ins. Like you've come from like Southeast. I dare say you were somewhere else before. Mm-hmm. You've come Northwest now.
Yeah.
And this is the stylist's life, isn't it?
A lot of legwork. And I'm wearing heels, people. So... 10 out of 10 for me. But it is. And I think people take for granted what it is to be a stylist. I think it's all like glamour and photo shoots and, shopping is like browsing around the shops. But I always say, imagine having like, I don't know, the prom or a first date and it's like 5 to 7 and the shops are shutting and you've not found what you need. That feeling is the pressure that you can be under a lot of the time because it's serious. It doesn't take the joy out of it. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. I'm very well practiced. I don't feel that feeling a lot, but it's a serious game,
Of course it is.
You walk into a shop and you can be in there 3 minutes because you just scanned it. You're not like, oh, look at this. You're like, beep, 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 beep. Nothing for me. Leave.
Really, like
literally
Terminator
like that.
Style. Not for you, man.
No. Yeah, and she's out. On to the next one, yeah.
Gee, I mean, I guess it takes a couple of years qualifications to work that one.
I've been doing it a while.
Do you do that with people? Like you go into a party or something and just literally scanning their outfits?
You there watching now? I've already checked out your outfit. I've got big opinions. I'll be DMing you.
Pow, 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 pow. She's on to you, man. Alexis Knox is on to you.
I see those trainers.
It's good. I mean, I do admire that about a stylist, You know how like the guy goes out with a stylist all of a sudden, he switches his whole shit up in 48 hours. All of a sudden he's looking through, and you're like, hey, don't any of you touch him. I worked my ass off to create the new wardrobe that is the man.
I always feel so sorry for anyone going on a first date with me because because the thing is, like, often on a first date, I'll turn up in, like, jeans and a black vest and, like, a black jacket. Like, I make, not like it's no effort, but, like, when I'm not, like, I've got a sweatshirt on now and it's a bit sparkly, but I actually don't put a lot of effort into what I wear. I just pick things that look like I've made a lot of effort. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I can imagine going on a first date, you'd be like, what the hell am I going to wear? She's a stylist.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was in a conundrum what I was going to wear myself.
Oh, you look dashing. It's 10 out of 10. Couldn't have done better myself.
We'll use this as the commercial on the Johnny podcast. You just snap that there. I've been privy to working. We've worked together, and
yes.
One thing that I still take magpie bites out of some of the things that you suggested. I check out for certain things. I still, even now, I'm like the wear, you know, the jewelry you're wearing, take a couple off.
Yeah.
Because then you've got the right amount.
Yeah.
It's things like that. And also, when we were working together, there was often a time where I'd be like, let's go for the wide awake shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Straight away go for that one.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, hold on. Because you've got that and you want to put that in it, you know.
Yeah.
It's a methodical process that you bring.
Yeah, I mean, should I send you an invoice? I mean, if you're still
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's one of those things
All the
where,
damaged stuff. You know?
Yeah. No, but you know, it's one of those things where sometimes it's a classic saying, less is more. And I think it doesn't take a lot to make a statement. You know, and when we're looking at ourselves every day, you can go a bit blind to certain things that when someone will see you for the first time, say as an artist or, I don't know, as any person in the public eye, if you're, you know, appearing to someone for that first time, they can only really take away a couple bits of information about you. It might be a haircut or a statement T-shirt. It's really hard to take in everything, you know, because we're so used to it because you see it every day, but for someone else it's a lot to process, so it's really good to like rein it back. Like a lot of the icons, like you think Michael Jackson and you think Trilby white socks, but he's probably done a million outfits and looks, or you think glove, you think a few key things that's your takeaway. Or Madonna, you might think 80s jewelry, cross, maybe the tutu, I don't know, but there's only ever a few takeaways, and I think it's better to try and define what your takeaway is.
That's fucking cool. I never even thought about it like that. You know, particularly podcasts. You know, I spend half my time working out. Okay, what's the wall doing? What's the table doing? What am I doing? But actually, you really break down things into like bare bones. It's like get it right, and the repetition becomes the reward.
Yeah, 100%.
Who's it? Brian, what's his name, from AC/DC, and what's his face, the guitarist? You know, the devil horn kid in the school outfit, and Brian with his peak hat, or Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
you know, all these kind of characters that came from a rock and roll background. There was almost like this play on huge charisma with these identifiable, iconic tashes, caps.
Yeah.
I mean, there was extremes like Kiss, I suppose, but then, you know, all of these, they resonate, don't they?
Yeah. But you say Kiss and I only think of things that hair and makeup.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I don't really think, you know, I think it's as an artist or even just a person who wants to express their personality or whatever you want to choose to express that day visually, it's all a communication, and you've got to think like, what's my message? What's my silhouette? What's my artist DNA? You know, I think really to be an icon, you could describe someone in like a couple of things, really. So,
What's your defining artist that epitomises that theory?
I think, you know, an example of it when I really began to understand that process was working with Charlie XCX. Yeah. And so I worked with her on all the first album, and, you know, emerging artist, underground, very cool, edgy. Yeah, and we pushed a silhouette throughout the whole album, which varied slightly. It never was repetitive, but it was a silhouette that she became famous for. Big hair, you know, Spice Girls, 90s platforms. And now she's like a champion of 90s. You know, she's got a track 1999, and she is the queen of the 90s, really.
You were DJing for her as well.
Yeah.
Tours,
yeah. So when she started DJ, when she started DJing, we DJed together. So we did like Coco and all sorts.
Sick. Yeah, we're going to get into the whole DJ thing. We have to.
Yeah.
Where did it all begin? Where did it all begin, Alexis Knox? When?
Drunk in Jaguar shoes, when I still lived in Oxford. Like,
really?
Around the time that I think we met.
Wow,
yeah.
Really?
And I was with our mutual friend, Kerry.
That's right. Big up Kerry Morris, Sunday House.
Kerry! Shout outs. And she was like, a friend of mine's got an exhibition in London at this bar. Do you want to come? And we went. I grew up in Oxford, so me and Kerry came from Oxford to London, and we went out on a night out, met this group of boys randomly, went back to their house for a house party, partied all night, and in the morning the sun was coming up, and I said, God, I wish I could live in a house like this. I wish I would move to London and live somewhere like this. 3 months later, I lived in that house with those boys. And I literally just hit the floor running. It was Kingsland Road, it was Shoreditch. It was like 12, 13 years ago when everything was popping off.
Yeah.
New rave. And my family were like, what are you doing? You haven't got a job. You've just moved to London. And so I just really felt the need to kind of, it wasn't that I had to prove myself to anyone. I'm ambitious. I'm a hard worker. I've always had loads of things going on, even before I moved to London. I was a bit of a hustler. And so I came here and just continued that story, really.
That was a bubbling time right then. I remember doing the Spit Kingdom nights at Herbal.
Yeah.
I remember that. But then there was also this kind of, what are they called? Baby Shambles meets Towers of London.
Yeah.
There was that thing popping off. So there was the hip hop, and then there was the drum and bass. Herbal was like, that was synonymous for like drum and bass on Kingsland Road.
Yeah.
That was great. And you really were, you were a rude girl. You were a junglist.
I was a junglist.
You were a proper
I
junglist.
know.
That's how we met. You as junglist.
Yeah. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Oxford Cellar Bar, right?
Yeah. Cellar, Coven, Zodiac, taking trips to the Sanctuary for Helter Skelter, Drum and Bass Awards, One Nation, all of it.
That's crazy.
Free parties, coming up to the end here in London when that was there, and just taking it all in, really, getting as much as I could.
Golden era.
I miss the days of raving, you know, when you'd be like, oh, there's a free party, and you pile in someone's car, and off you go, and it's just, everything's so exciting because you just didn't know what to expect. I think, I think now is amazing. Every period of time is amazing, you know, and you look at things with hindsight and you can appreciate it. And now is amazing, but there is a certain element of things being a little bit contrived, or it's only good if it's good enough to be documented, and so that connection can be missed. But I'm definitely feeling there is a zeitgeist in club world where people are wanting that connection. People aren't wanting phones. You know, people are putting them away, or it's so good that they're forgetting to even take a picture, and that is a night out.
Yes, the instalment in them disciplines. Like, there's some clubs. There was one Bob Villan was saying to me that he did a show in Berlin. It was a punk venue, and on the door it was like, no phones, just like hand your phones in there.
Wow.
Like that.
Wow,
that's
strict. Hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because, like, the experience, you're paying for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, fair enough. If you want to be documenting it, then that's your.
Yeah.
But you're meant to attend. Isn't it? It's so weird, isn't it? That it hadn't been done sooner. Like, put the phones away.
You know what? You know, I'm never going to knock an era or knock an experience, and I think there is a great thing about this whole millennial and documenting everything and everyone understanding this new sense of self in a place and being a personal brand, because it has opened itself up to so many opportunities. Like, I capitalise from that. I won't knock it, but I would never ever do it at the detriment of a real life experience. Like, first and foremost, real life experience.
Counts,
you know?
doesn't it?
Yeah, like there are some club nights out there, their photos are amazing, or you know, people turn out some really good looks, and you go visit and it is dead. There's no energy.
Totally. And we've all been to them raves.
Yeah. You know?
That's what not what it said on the brochure, you know?
Yeah. So, I know, it's hard. It's hard because, you know, people don't need to go out to pool. People don't need to go out to peacock on the dance floor like they used to, you know?
It's, it's great. Like you were saying, it's, it's horses for courses. And I like to ask them questions because everyone always has their own different point of view.
Yeah.
It's a common trait because things change. Things are changing so quickly. Yeah. Social media and
quick.
Our interactions are all based there. So that's leading the way. And it's a crazy time for this that feel of community within clubland, even a pub.
Yeah.
They're being, there's coffee shops now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like they're not pubs
totally,
anymore.
Yeah.
It's a crazy time.
Yeah.
Society's changing.
I think it's good because I like anything that's going to make me or wherever I work in up its game.
Yeah.
I think anything that gets comfortable, it's game
Might as
over.
well be dead
And I
anyway.
think maybe that's where clubbing was, and maybe it took it for granted.
Yeah.
And I feel like the club nights that are really, in my world, that are being successful are the ones that are investing in those sensory experiences.
Yeah, 100%.
Are having the visuals, the pyrotechnics, the lighting, the lasers, the performers. It's interactive, it's 3D, it's an experience. They don't just think one DJ and a dance floor.
They're not being lazy with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel
And
that.
so it's fair enough for those ones that are being successful is because they've upped their game, really. And that goes for a lot of DJs, DJs putting on shows rather than just turning up behind some decks and that being enough. Like all the visuals, the dances, everything. I mean, I love that. I God, I'd like every set to be like a DJ, like a Britney Spears, like, concert stage. That'd be my dream,
But hold on, but this is the thing. It's like you're bringing new elements and adding value to that world as well.
Yeah.
With your DJing, like you're. When I see your photos, there is an exuberance of like your look, the thing that I know you for, being collaborated with the DJing and I've heard your sets. I've been there. I witnessed it, and it's like you're there to bring a party.
Yeah,
Like, it's great.
I think when you've been a raver and basically a punter, you know what it is to have a good time. You know when a DJ is just like, killing it and then killing it, and so when I started DJing, like, it was really just about taste making. Like, I have to thank Jodie Harsh because it was at her club night Circus in the West End. Really massive, popular club night. Had people like Amy Winehouse DJ'd Alexander McQueen. It was like the place to be on a Friday night in central London. And I was like the door bitch. So it was amazing for me because I hadn't been in London long and I was offered that position, and it meant that everyone that came through that door I knew and they knew me. And
nice, because then you got connected. You were connected from the jump.
Yeah, and it's just so inspiring as well. So when a slot came up to DJ at the last hour, it was Jodie was like, "Do you know what, Alexis? You're always behind the decks anyway. You've got great taste. Why don't you just do it? I'm sure you'll work it out. We'll give you a quick lesson before you go on the door, and then you get off the door and then go behind the decks and play to a full club." And it's now the box, so it's like, I don't know what the capacity is, but it's not like 20 people. It's a bit more than that.
No, it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, so I was thrown in the deep end, and that's kind of how I've always things have always gone for me, really.
Yeah, breaking down that fear, innit?
Yeah,
breaking down the
jump
fear.
Jump straight in.
And
I think if you're primed and you're good to go and people trust you, that's a really that's a real blessing. So shout out Jodie Harsh, thank you.
Yeah, big shout out Jodie
Harsh.
And I don't think I've ever met her actually. I don't think I met her.
Oh, if you'd met her, you'd
never
remember.
forget her.
Yeah.
Cool.
And friends, Chris and Josh, in my early days of DJing really helped me out. And
nice.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing like tons of shows now. You're all over the shop, aren't you?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you're loving it.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's great.
2019 is, it's panning out.
You and me both, babe. We're going for it. It's all guns, but it's like cowboy country out there. It's Wild West, Like we were saying earlier, it's like, go get it. We just can go and get it now.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of technology now and what you're able to do, and taking those initiatives and just like expanding on your skill set. That's the best.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's all in your hand, like what you can do with your phone. You've got it in your pocket, the opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
So it's just the focus and the drive to do it, which, can actually sometimes be the hard thing, getting everything in line, ready to have the headspace to go for it.
And headspace is like real to you because like one night you'll be like DJing, private event somewhere out of town. Then next thing you'll be dressing up Craig David, ready for him to go and do a TV show. The dynamics there, they're pretty extreme, aren't they?
Yeah, because for me, like, first and foremost, I'm a fashion stylist and my clients will like always be number one. So I will always make sure I work everything around whoever I've committed to, you know what I mean? And I would never do anything to jeopardize that. That will always be number one for me. Out of that wanting to always deliver and do the job that I promised to do, and not let anyone down either. So it's about being strict with yourself and just utilising your hours in the day, like we were saying, getting your sleep and working clever rather than working hard, really. Yeah, you have to be quite strict, actually.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to Kerry.
Yeah.
I'm your friend Kerry again, big up Kerry. She was saying like the patterns in which you work. This was a while ago, and I'm paraphrasing as well. But, you have like a time in which you do work out your photos. You have time to go to sleep, you wake up at designated time. You've got your schedule planned out. You did
Yeah.
it the night before. I mean, this is quite a military.
Oh, it's very military. Yeah, yeah. I'm like the queen of organising. Like, I think, I don't know, styling is logistics, really. And I think anything, actually, if you're focused and organised, really boils down to logistics, actually, and getting shit done.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
isn't it?
like, if you can't get your things in line and things in place and stay strict to timings, then nothing's going to get done. And it doesn't really matter what your trade is.
Yeah.
You know?
Deadlines are key. And I think with people that kind of... There's a couple of quotes I hate is when people say work hard, play hard. I mean, that normally means you just play. You're not really... There's not really any working hard going on, is there? When someone says that, it's like, all right.
Yeah, my play hard is literally being in bed, asleep. Like, hey.
Yeah. Work hard, chill hard.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what? Like, I do feel blessed that with the DJing, for me, that often feels like a night out because I'm booked with other people, other DJs I really like, or other performers I really like, and I really take away something from it. So I don't really have this dying need to go like unleash or like, you know, no. Don't get me wrong, I do like a good night out, you know, but there's
You ain't got to tell me you do. We were talking just before we rolled was with regards to the breaking point of how long it actually takes trajectory wise for artists, whether it's in fashion or music, to actually really crack the code and break through. And it's not as like young as you think. I think there's a level of try and test, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, you obviously get a lot of successful artists which are entering from a very young age, but then you often watch them go through a journey, you know, at a certain age, and it's the natural order of life. I think whether you're an artist or whatever you're in, you know, doesn't matter if you're in the public eye or your ambition is to be. I think it's human nature. You hit a certain age and you really take stock. And you realise what's important. And some things become quite tired and you realise you need other things in life. And sometimes when you realise those things, that's actually the foot up that helps you then go on to achieve what you're destined to achieve, you know?
Yeah.
Plus you're very well practiced at what you do and you've just got that head on your shoulders, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. There was definitely an interim with Killa Kela, probably between the age of 20, easily like 3 years of like, I reassess because, like you, and I'm sure everyone goes through it. I'm just speaking aloud here, thinking aloud. You know, there's a moment where you have to sit back and go, hold on, I'm pushing this thing, and I'm not sure where I'm going with it. You've almost got to like re-up and work out your next end goal.
Yeah.
I spoke to Rev from that morning about this, you know, Rev, right? And I said, what's it like, dude, when... Because he said he'd fulfilled everything he wanted to do. And I've never done that. I've never got to that place before. I still feel like I want more. And I was like, what's it like to feel like you've done absolutely everything? Where'd you go from there?
Yeah.
He had no real answer. And that's quite a scary... I mean, he was chilled. He was like, I'm happy I've got a kid. I'm doing my thing and I can still play when I want. But... I can't imagine being fulfilled.
Yeah. I think contentment can sometimes come out of nowhere, and think maybe having a family or children shifts your focus onto someone else. And I've not had any children, so I couldn't really comment on that, but I would imagine that maybe that could be the case, you know. Who knows, one day I might become like some mad momager, you know, and I'm like, I don't care about me anymore, it's my kid's destiny, you know.
Did you just say momager?
Yeah, momager, like a Kris Jenner momager.
Oh my God, you just smashed it.
You know what?
Hashtag that.
Yeah,
I've never heard that before.
Well, Kris Jenner is the famous momager, and I think that's
me.
blatantly going to happen. But oh God, because I started clubbing and my mum was still clubbing, so I know this poor kid of mine is going to have some mad crossovers to deal with me.
You ever thought about having kids one day? Is that a reality of an idea?
Yeah, like I am by nature a very motherly person. Like I just and I don't want to say take people under my wing because that feels very contrived and forced, but find myself in a role of a mother, you know, from time to time, and so definitely, but not for a very long time.
Yeah,
like I think my current ambitions are my babies at the moment.
Yeah, oh, it has to be.
And when they've left home, then we'll think
It
about it.
has to be.
Yeah.
It has the thing that you wake up and it's 24/7, isn't it? 24/7. Let's skirt around your columnist time. You know, you had a stint with Radio 1 for half a year or more.
Lovely Gemma Kearney.
Mm-hmm.
She had a Radio 1 Saturday morning show, and she very kindly would invite me on and take callers' questions.
That's crazy.
It was so fun, and Gemma's
See, that's some agony
amazing.
aunt. That's some agony aunt
That's
stuff.
some mum right there.
Yeah, see, straight in.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just helping the nation.
Yeah.
And that was around the time that I was part of a show on T4 and doing like different stints on different TV shows and bits and bobs, and it was amazing, great. But then it was also a time when my styling really took off, and I was doing like Charlie XCX, Little Mix, worked with Miley Cyrus, various X Factor people, Notion magazine. It was my focus shifted again to my clients. You know, that was my first and foremost. And you can't exactly say, "Oh no, so sorry, Miley."
Yeah,
You know,
it's just
sorry,
not
Little
happening.
Mix. Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah.
So that career went down there, and I'm really pleased it did because, you know, what incredible journey, what incredible experience.
You had a crazy stint and still building, still going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, I think you know what it is. You learn to, like, you know, as you go down a path, you learn you don't need to say yes to quite everything because you want to give everything your heart, really, and your full concentration, you know. So I really, what projects I do get involved in, I feel really... Yeah, I'm like well into it.
Yeah. You kind
not
of
that I was never well into it at all, you know, at all. Yeah. But I just think for your own health, you can only go at that speed for so long, and I did that maximum speed for that period of time. Yeah. And I'm happy it was for that period of time, and I like to work at in a different way now. Also, I'm older, so
I would say though that there is a natural parking of like. Delegated concentrations. Apparently, the human mind can only be delegated to 3 heavy chores at a time. Anything more,
coffee, biscuit, chat.
yeah,
Done.
exactly. Maybe a drink in the hand. You know, there you go.
Yeah.
So you know, I think where that goes. You know, when I think about the way, but work is done best. It is definitely just like full throttle on 3 key things, tops, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But I loved those days, and I had an amazing team of people helping me, and I've got another amazing team now, but it's definitely a different pace, different way of working because it's a different time, and I want different things as well. And yeah, I did that, and that was fun. I liked it.
What's your What's your favourite kind of character to be styling? Like as a man or woman?
I feel someone who is in tune with who they want to express themselves visually to be. Because sometimes most people know who and what they like. They just don't know how to express it. Yeah. And I never, go up to someone and, a client be like, this is who you're going to be. I will take the time to find out who they are and what their agenda that they're communicating is, what their message, and I will find the clothes to fit that message, And sometimes a person will then be like, oh my God, wouldn't have even imagined this, but I feel so comfortable and I feel so me. I feel like someone could see me from the end of the road and they would know my personality or what I'm trying to communicate without me even having to open my mouth. And I think anyone who is in tune with that is a joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Like the perception of someone from afar, like you see somebody and they're dressed in a particular way, that can be the immediate impression, even into the first hello. Yeah, you've already made your impression. Yeah, you've already made your mind up as a person what that person is.
Yeah, it's our human nature. It's our way of protecting ourselves as well, to see if someone's a threat or a friend.
Ooh,
yeah.
AG Dentistry. In my line of work, not only does what I do with the mouth get reviewed, it's also my instrument. And it's beyond important to me that my teeth get the professional service they deserve. The AG family provide expert dentistry, whether it's NHS or cosmetic. They're the finest in London. Head over to agdentistry.co.uk for more information on treatments and prices.
AG Dentistry.
Come on, ma, please.
Needles, syringes, water fight hinges. We love food for just for hit plenty. Oh look, oh no, watch them on them brain out. 30 to the follow.
Killa Kela Fortified featuring Patoine. Available on all good music platforms now.